What's up, y'all? Welcome to Fury Talks. I am your host, Seth Fury. So today's guest is an iconic, super successful model who's had a very long-standing career. Hell, I've been a fan of her since I was in high school. So I couldn't be more excited to have her here today to tell you more about her story and get to know her a little bit more beyond her work. So with that being said, allow me to introduce the one and only Miss Vida, Guerra.
Yeah, you said it good. You said it good. Hi.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So Vida and I just met recently, a few weeks ago. Her and I actually worked together for the first time. And one thing that I can say that was such a pleasure is that genuinely you have some of the nicest energy of most of the people that I've worked with. Like that was the first thing. You were super hospitable. And I think that's so rare, especially in LA.
Yes.
Because I've worked with so many different types of people and they're not all like you. You know, so I thank you for matching up to the beauty on the outside and being the exact same way on the inside. So
I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
I think that's what the society has lost touch with.
Exactly. And it's rare. So I got to give kudos to it when I see it. And it's funny because I've worked with so many different people doing what I do with the massage therapy. And you were the one person that had my DMs going off. With all my friends from high school were like, now I'm jealous. I wasn't jealous about anybody else, but they were like, man, one of my good friends, John, apparently met you like back when I was in high school. And you
Hi, John.
Hi, yeah, no, he's gonna love that. Hey, John, you owe me. And I guess you signed his like magazine or something at a Dub magazine show. Yeah. And he went raving on about it and just kept telling me and bragging to me about it. And just fast forward 10 years later to this day when he saw that video, oh yeah, so much stuff to say. And I was like, yeah, and she's so cool. So this is why it's exciting to have you here.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
So let me ask you.
And I love that you could do multiple things, and I love that.
Okay,
you know, the massages, you got this going on, successful. And I love the fact that you talk about relationships because I think it's so important. It's
something that I feel like a lot of people don't always have access to. You know, like a lot of relationships could be saved if they just simply had somebody to get good advice from. And, you know, I've always been that for my friends. So when I finally put together this idea, I'm like, this is perfect because I can help strangers. And even though they may not know me directly, they may see a topic that relates to them and they can take something from that. So it's important to me that I do this. And it's just getting more and more fun just being able to meet cool people and hear their point of views on a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think today with social media and stuff is even harder for relationships to last because everything is quick.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So speaking of social media, you were here before that even existed.
Yeah.
You were like the OG original. Like, so let me just go back. What were you like before Vida Guerra, the model? What was your life like? How did you come into this? I'm assuming before everybody knew you, there was a point where nobody knew you. So when
everybody always knew me.
Everybody always knew you?
Yeah, because I mean, I was the only Vida.
Okay.
And growing up, I was like really like popular.
Okay.
That's why I'm still the humble and the same person.
Because you've always had the attention.
Because I've always had the attention.
Gotcha.
I've always been, you know, that girl, you know, and I'm not saying it from like a conceited standpoint. Of course, yeah. It's just a factual thing. And so when I became famous, it just became like, you know, bigger.
Gotcha.
But it was the same thing. So it didn't go to my head.
Yeah.
I'm super humble. Like I don't. There's people that have done like less than I've done and they're like super stuck up and they think they're, you know, their shit don't stink, and it's just like, it's so ugly because someone could be so beautiful on the outside but then like their insides are just so ugly.
I think that's usually what it is people who never had that attention that get it and it goes to their head and they're just nasty about it. I don't know if they're bitter because of the way they were treated beforehand and now they just want to get back at everybody.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, if you grew up always being the star and then finally you get a little bit more stardom, it doesn't change you that much. You're like, this is just who I am. I've always been humble. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've always been the same. I've always, like, my body's always been a topic, you know, since I was little. Guys used to try to grab my butt. I gave a guy stitches in 4th grade for grabbing my butt because I was in karate. And
Wait, you gave him stitches?
Yeah.
In 4th grade?
9 stitches here in the face.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because he went to go grab my butt. I was like handing out the test thing and he went like this and I took his hand and swung him, you know, like the chairs are like the ones that you kind of like swing in.
Yeah.
And I took his hand and I swung him across the
I
class.
mean, it's well deserved.
And then I got in trouble.
Of course, because that's, it's always the over-aggressive that gets...
Yeah, it's like, well, that wouldn't have happened if he... Yeah, and so like there was a disconnect with that actually. Yeah. Because there was when I was in 6th grade... So that was in 4th grade. In 6th grade, I like volunteered to like clean the board, you know, at school. And I was cleaning the board, and I already had biker shorts underneath because I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
But the boys, they think it was funny to like lift the girls' skirts.
Yeah.
So I was like cleaning the board, and then they came and they lifted my skirt, and I started running after them and went down the hall. And when they went down the hall, there was like stairs and then like a platform and then stairs that you can't see who's coming up.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I was like so mad, and they're like taunting me, and I see a fire extinguisher, and I take the fire extinguisher and I start going like this, like.
Wow. Okay, so you were not the one to mess with.
No.
That's good.
But
That's good. You
I
were
used to
standing
beat
up
up
for
boys
yourself.
all the time.
Yeah.
But as I was doing that, a
They caught you.
nun was coming up.
Oh wow.
And I
Okay.
didn't know, and I got in trouble. I got
Did
suspended.
you spray her?
Huh?
Did you spray the nun?
I sprayed her, yeah,
Oh,
because
okay, that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
couldn't see her.
Because
You
there
know,
was that
like
blind
so you
stairway.
you only saw like the steps that are like going like this, but then
Yeah.
you didn't see all the steps.
Wow.
And I got her, and then I had to go like to the fire department and learn how it's so important to have that fill. Like you can't be playing with it.
And this was what grade?
6th grade.
That's crazy for a 6th grader to be going through that type of hazing. Like, that's some of those stories sound more familiar like for high school. You know, once people start to get a little older, the flirtation starts to get a little more aggressive. But in 6th grade to be pulling up girls' skirts, like that's, I don't know what city you were.
I was in a town in Perth Amboy, New Jersey. You know, it's a small town. It's mostly Hispanics and blacks. It's, you know, like not, but it's just, I think it's just my energy, right? And I've always had this energy since I was a kid. Like, I mean, I could tell you countless stories that it was just like, my dad wouldn't want me to like to wave. People would wave at me, like men too, like as I was a kid. My dad didn't like that. And he saw like the attention that I got from a little kid. And my dad is super strict, Cuban, you know, he looks like Al Pacino, like super you know? So me and him bump heads a lot because I didn't have the freedom, you know, to be free as a kid. You know, he was like very strict with me, which I'm thankful because I'm the person that I am.
Sometimes the biggest blessings come in disguise. My father was super strict with me, and I hated him at the time for it. But he, at the end of the day, regardless of whether I agree with his teachings or not, some of the habits he instilled in me, I will forever take on. He never let us eat candy. He never let us drink soda. He never let us do a lot of the things that all the other kids could do. Like I would purposely sleep over my other friends' houses because I'm like, oh, they got peanut butter and fluff. They had all the treats that we couldn't have in our cabinet. But at the end of the day, I never had cavities. I've always been very healthy, very athletic. And these are things where I'm like, okay, I didn't like it. But when I have my kids, I'm probably going to be very similar to that because it did work. Whatever your dad did, it may not have been the best thing as a child, but you grew into a beautiful, nice, kind person, adult. So that's the biggest key. Did you have brothers?
I do. I have a brother. He's younger than me, and he's married.
So he wasn't really there to protect you.
No, I used to actually protect him.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like people wouldn't mess with him because they knew that he was my brother.
Okay. Oh, so you kind of looked. Oh, that's good that you were there for him.
Yeah.
So what did your dad to go from? I don't want no man looking at you on the street to the entire world is looking at you now on the front cover of this magazine. How did that go?
Oh, it wasn't good. He didn't talk to me for a while. For a couple months.
Wow. Okay.
But when I was 18, I did like a fashion show.
Okay.
In my hometown, and I came out and I had a teddy.
Okay.
But it was covered. You know, I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
And my dad, like, there was a lot of people there, and my dad was there, and he was like, and he was so mad at me. He didn't talk to me for like 2 months. Then when I came out in the magazine FHM, he was like, what? He was so mad.
And how old were you at this point?
I mean, I was 28.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, you know me.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know who I am. Like, it's just like a bikini. It's the same thing as a body is a body. They just were fascinated with my booty, so...
Showing booty.
Yeah, like it's the same thing as somebody showing any other body parts, you know? I mean, you know, like your private area, and then that's something else. But I mean, it's nothing. I mean, like now
especially
it's like
now,
nothing.
I was gonna say nowadays,
like,
a butt is just as common as a shoulder.
Yeah,
like nobody cares about it now.
Yeah.
But back then, I see that.
Yeah, so he didn't, but you know, then he became like my biggest fan, and he was so cool. And like when I did the Playboy signing in New York City,
Yeah.
at the Times Square, the Virgin Records store, there was like lines down blocks and blocks,
wow.
and my dad was like fascinated with the whole thing because,
that many
mind
people
you,
came to
we were
support
like.
you.
We were born in Cuba. We escaped Cuba. We
Yeah.
grew up super poor. Like, it was just a big shift
Yeah.
for me. So, my dad, he brings this guy, and he's like, oh, I used to work with this guy. And I'm like, oh, hi, nice.
Yeah.
And the guy got in the VIP
line?
section that I was in. He got to take pictures with me. I was being really nice to him because I thought my dad knew him.
Yeah.
No, my
Your
dad
didn't know him?
Some guy all the way towards the back that was never gonna get to see me.
Yeah.
Because it was
dad
only a time frame.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'll pay anything," and my dad was like, "Okay, I'll pay you what I say." The guy
So he had
gave
his
my
own
dad
little side
like
hustle.
$200 or something.
That's
and then,
funny.
but then my dad was cute. He gave everybody like my team. He gave money for like the gas and parking.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like he kept it for himself.
Exactly. So
But
yeah,
it
he had
was
good
cute
intent.
that he did it. Yeah.
That's so funny. You thought it was your dad's friend.
Yeah.
But so like you really, I don't know too many models, especially back then. Like for me, you were one of my favorites, and I would say Melissa Ford was probably my other favorite. And it's funny that I worked with both of y'all, and both of y'all are just amazing. So this just makes everything so much better. But like, you guys really shaped a lot of our childhood, just that industry at that time, because nowadays there's models everywhere. They just pop up left and right as soon as they make an Instagram account. You guys had to do it the old-fashioned way. You guys had to climb tooth and nail to get onto a magazine cover, you know, because there were only so many limited spots. So for you to be on the front of Sports Illustrated, that's a huge deal, you know. And so I think it's amazing how, you know, you were able to create that type of fan base and success at a time when it was not easy. You know, to have a line around the block, like that's incredible.
Well, when I was 8 years old, I was when we escaped Cuba, I was 6 when we got to New Jersey. Well, when we landed in Miami, and one day I was like signing my name when I was 8. And my parents are like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
I was trying to sign my name.
You were practicing.
And I was like, "Oh, I'm practicing because I'm going to be a really famous model. I'm going to be in all the like I was saying what actually happened. My parents are like, "What are you lost your mind? Like what even is that?" You know, because at that time they couldn't even comprehend it.
Yeah.
And I was very I am very intuitive person. I'm a very spiritual person. And I was super, super connected then, and like I saw everything.
Yeah.
And people would be like in school, like, "Oh, what are you gonna be when you grow up?" Whatever, and I would say the same thing, and then people would laugh at me, and they're like, "Vida, you're only 5'2", you know, like because by the way, I've been the same height since 5th grade."
Let's just say, we talked about this before. I never knew how tiny Vida was until I saw the feet dangling, and I was like,
"Oh yeah, 'cause if I go like this, like,
it's just a whole bunch of
wait,
feet
so
just
now I'm
packed
like
into
slouch."
yeah. Okay, so as you were.
So yeah, like, you know, people are like, "You're crazy," you know, like, and I go, "Okay, you'll see." And then like when I remember one time in Thanksgiving, we were like eating, and then I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be on this TV," and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
Because that wasn't my reality, but it became my reality. Yeah, like I had that sense of knowing, and it was exciting. So I knew that was gonna happen for me, and it happened for me when I was 28 years old, which is super old for a model already, you know, and that was 18 years ago.
So, was the most iconic photo you took, because this is the one that my friends used to always have on their whatever book covers, posters, was it the one where you were looking back and you kind of just had yourself cupped a little bit? Like, was that like the more game-changing photo for you?
Well, no, I mean, the game-changing photo was the first one that I did for FHM, that there was like 5 girls.
Okay.
And every girl was facing this way.
Okay.
But there was the creative director for FHM, and he saw me walk by, and he was a gay guy. He was like, "Oh my God, your bum is so nice." And then he positioned me that way.
Okay.
So like when people saw that picture, that's what I stood out. Like I was super tan, everybody was white, and I was like super tan, and you know, everyone was facing this way, and I'm facing like this, and my booty's in the picture, and that's it, you know.
Because you know, back then, before people did the surgeries, it was rare to see somebody with a butt like yours. Like it was a one-off. Like if you saw someone with that type of perfection, you were like just drawn to it, because you don't see that up now, because they can be crafted and made so often. A lot of times people are like, is that real? And it could be real, and you're just like, nah. I mean, it almost like downplays those who are blessed to have a real body, because you know that it could be created. So back then, I remember, like, it wasn't often that you would see somebody with that type of Coke bottle figure.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you know, like, people are like, oh, your body's fake. I'm like, how's it fake? Like my body does fluctuate, you know, and growing up, when I would gain weight, I was just gaining in my butt and thighs. Yeah. I was genetically blessed like that. Yeah. And you know, older is a whole different story. Another time we'll talk about that. You know. But yeah, I've always had it. And then when I competed, and I became an IFBB pro, and
I forgot about that. Yeah, so you were a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I was like super shredded, and then people were like, "Oh my God, you lost your curves," you know, because to obtain that body, you know, I had to like lose body fat, and my body fat got like really low. Yeah. Which I didn't like. I didn't feel comfortable. That's why I didn't continue. And I just wanted to get my pro card, and then I just wanted to say that I got it.
That's an accomplishment. Yes. Even so, because that is a lot of discipline to compete. How old are you again? Do you mind?
46.
Okay, so you were 46 and proud, as you should be, because you look better than a lot of these young 21-year-old girls. And so,
thank you.
Because you look so young, do you often get hit on by younger guys?
All the
time. How do you take that?
I actually get hit on by younger guys.
More than older guys?
Yeah, I don't really get hit on by older guys.
Okay. Because when I was 20, all I dated was women your age. Really? I don't know what, I was just so fascinated by the look.
Wisdom. And
the look.
And if they take care of themselves.
That was amazing. Like, they all had their own place. They all had just a life away from my mother's house. You know, I was just like, I can go there and escape and feel like a man. And even though I was younger, it was such an experience. And I loved the maturity look. Like, I don't know, there's something about it. I didn't really like the young 20-year-old girls. I was attracted to the older women. So, you know, I had a show not too many episodes ago, and I had a guy on here, and everybody was giving him such a hard time because he dated younger girls. And I was telling him, I was like, well, I dated older women, so nobody really gave the women a hard time when they dated me. Of course, the other way around, it's like some double standard creep status, you know? But do you actually entertain the younger proposals?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on like a person's mindset, right?
Okay.
I've met men that are older than me. Okay. And I've met guys that are younger than me. And some guys that are younger than me are more mature than older ones.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So I think, I mean, we're so fixated on the age. And I think that it's more of, you know, like a person, like who are they inside? Like, what have they done? You know, like, I think those are the things that attract people. Yeah. Because the physical is good, but after a while, it's done.
It's nothing.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And like in today's world, everybody's getting all these, you know, cosmetic surgeries to look like the standard of perfect beauty. And it's like everybody looks the same.
Oh my God!
And even like the transgender men, or trans.
I know what you mean. That.
Yeah, because they get surgery, and then the girls are getting surgery. They look the same.
Yeah, yeah. I come across like I you know, sometimes I'll swipe left on Bumble, and I'll just be going through different things.
You're in Bumble?
Well,
I did that.
I'm on Bumble. I
did Bumble for
what? How long?
For like
a week.
I didn't go on any Bumble dates, but I had it, and then I was like, this is not for me.
I know it can be, especially because you're Vida. I mean, it's different to see you on there. I
didn't put my name. I had a different name.
Oh, well, then people probably thought you were fake.
No, but I mean, I was putting like just like normal pictures, like just like selfies and stuff.
Okay,
I wasn't putting anything.
Okay, you weren't.
Yeah, and nobody picked up on it. Nobody like, wait, are you Vida? You know, nobody said that.
Well, yeah. For me, I was just like, because of what I do for work, I can't, really entertain people from my social media page, because, you know, you send them a DM and they're thinking that you're inquiring to book a massage or book them for a massage, and then you're hitting on them. They'll be like, wait, who is this? You know, so I stay away from that. So I was like, where can I, it's a pandemic. There's nowhere really to go. So let me just try this out. My friend told me about it, sure. And when I swipe, you do it really quickly, because you're not really trying to read every single detail about that person until you match. Then I go back and look at it and decide, okay, did I really want to swipe, or did I just do this out of habit? And I've swiped on a couple trans girls, and I don't know that they're trans. I'm sitting here looking at them and I'm like, oh, this is a pretty girl, right? Because like you just said, they look identical, if not, because they're like almost created, they have the ability to sometimes look better than regular girls. And then I mean, some of them are obvious. And then you're just like, okay, that's a dude with a wig. And then some of them are just like, okay, this is scary. And then I got to go and unmatch once I read the full details, because you have to sometimes go down to read, because they'll put,
it's in the fine print.
They'll put it mad tiny. They'll be like, I like this, I like that.
I was born a man, but now I'm
They will put every other detail about themselves, and then at the very bottom, by the way, trans, next. And then I'm just saying, wait, go back, hold on. So then I'm like, okay, unmatched. I don't want to say nothing, whatever cases, but it's just crazy to me, like you just said, that in this world, in LA, especially for like Latina girls and Asian girls, because they just naturally have softer features, they be fooling people out here. So I got to be careful with the Bumble swipes.
Yes, you know? Oh my God. So I have a friend, he sends me, he's like, look at this girl. And I'm like, oh, she's pretty.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Because I like, it fooled me.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy. Yeah. And so it's just, there's no, you know, because everything is so fixated, like with social media and everything is like, you know, the outer material things, all things that are like superficial. Mm-hmm. And people don't work on themselves. Yeah. So in like 2007, I had been modeling since 2002. And I got to a place that I was like super popular. I had, in 2006, I was like the most searched woman on the internet. Wow. Yeah. And I had like number 37 website in the world, which I could have made so much money. But at that time, I didn't know. Like I was just, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going.
You enjoying the ride.
You know, like wherever this takes me intuitively, where I needed to go, my soul knows where I needed to go. But like in today's world, if that was social media, I would have millions of followers. I used to have 15 million people come to my website every month.
Wow.
That's why it was number 37 in the world, with like, you know, Yahoo, Google, and them like being the top 5. Yeah. That's not bad.
No, not at all. Yeah.
But, you know, it's just, it's different times now.
Yeah. So we talked about the fact that you would date younger men, but in regards to dating, what are some of your do's and don'ts? What are some of your pet peeves, things that you won't tolerate when it comes to dating men?
Liars.
Easy enough.
Right? I don't think anyone would tolerate that. Yeah. I don't like a guy that smokes cigarettes. It's disgusting.
I completely agree with that.
I actually had a story, which I'm not going to say like who it is.
Yeah, we won't be messy here.
But it's like a super big famous person, and I'm sure every woman would want to be kissed by him. Yeah. And when he kissed me in a haunted house in the dark, after he just finished smoking, I was like, and this was gonna be our first kiss. I was just like, ugh.
I don't think people, you know what?
You know.
Fortunately, I will say, I don't think there's as many smokers today as there was in the 90s. I think it's starting to trend out. Like, it's really not cool. It was never cool back then, but it's really not attractive now, to the point where it's like, are you guys still smoking cigarettes? It's like, haven't y'all gotten, it's disgusting.
I seen a person smoking today with a mask on. I was like, that's not going to kill you. The cigarette will.
Yeah, like I could never do the cigarette thing. I'm so big on hygiene, smell, taste. Though there are certain things about a woman that just really get me excited about them. And I don't care what type of perfume or bubble gum you try to throw in to hide it. You can never get past that cigarette smell. It literally smells like ass. Like, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It's a very, like, I don't know. I mean, if you smoke or if you ever been around someone who smokes, you know what we're talking about. And I can't do it. I can deal with somebody who smokes weed. You smoke a lot of weed?
No, not a lot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't do
smoke,
it.
Though.
Okay. I mean, I'm not shaming anybody. This is LA. Everybody smokes a little weed.
I didn't smoke until I was 33.
Really?
Yeah,
what made you get into it?
And my dad was pissed too again.
When you started?
And my mom. Yeah, when they found out, they're like, oh,
why start now?
Yeah, you're so old right now to do it.
But weed is different. Weed is like a mellower. That's like drinking wine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really judge people who smoke weed, nor would I be turned off by that at all. People would be like, hey, you mind if I smoke? Go on the porch, do your thing. Come back and I'll be here, you know? I just don't like it myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I used to hate it. I used to date a guy for 4 years, and he used to smoke weed all the time. Yeah. And I was like, it's me or the weed.
Oh, really?
That's how bad it was. That's how much I used to like.
How much weed was he smoking? Like all day, every day weed?
He was smoking every day, but he had like a little thingy where the weed was here, and then he would like stick. It almost looks like a cigarette, and he would stick the thing in there and put like a little bit. Like he'll take like a couple hits here and there, but he was just crazy in general,
and that was still
and everything. But that was the least of the things that he was up to. Yeah. But that's how much I hate it. And I remember when I moved to LA, and like my old assistant, whatever, and we were actually talking about it because we just had a birthday party for her, she was telling the story because some of my friends that know me now that see me smoking, they're like, she's like, oh my god, Vida she'll get mad, and like I was like and then for me to start smoking, people
so
were
funny.
are like,
you evolved, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really talk to any of my exes, but once in a while someone will call, like the ex that I had for 4 years, he called me recently, and he's like, because now he's like 2 years older than me, so he's almost like 50. He's like, how the hell do you still look good, know?
Teach me the secret.
And then he's like, I don't get it, and I'm like dude, you were the one that was like adamant about me working out, and like he was the one that actually pushed me when I got the call for FHM to be on the magazine. And that day I had lost $800. I threw out $800 in the garbage by accident.
By accident? Oh wow.
And then FHM calls me, and I was like crying because I threw out $800. And then when they called me, I was like, I'll call you back. And he's like, what do you, this is the opportunity you always wanted. So he pushed me to do it. So it was good. He, he works at like this go-go bar, and I used to dance there when I was younger. And he would like, people would be like, oh my God, your body's amazing, whatever. And then he would be like, no, it's okay. You can still do more, because he's Virgos are like perfectionists.
Yeah, wow, that's hilarious, because my ex was a Virgo, and she was just like that. She's the one person.
My parents are both Virgos.
Well, so, she has no problem letting me know when I am going off the deep end. Like she'll be like, you look a little fluffy. And this is even to this day, we're not even together. She got her own boyfriend. She will still come up to me and be like, and it's funny because I use her as like a gauge as to whether I'm getting out of shape. Like if I feel like I'm okay because I'm hanging around a bunch of yes people and they're like, oh, you look fine, I'll be like, what do you think? She'll be like, and I'll be like, okay, you said enough, I'm going back to the gym. So Virgos, hey, maybe that's
what's
just
your
Virgo.
sign?
I'm Cancer.
Oh, you're Cancer.
And she's always like, why are you so sensitive? I'm like, I'm not, but I mean, what you say, it means something.
We're water signs.
Yes. So wait, is Virgo water? No.
Yeah.
Is it really?
No.
Okay.
You're Cancer.
I'm a water sign.
I'm a Pisces. I'm a water
Gotcha.
sign.
Okay, I'm thinking you're okay. Oh yeah.
No, I'm not a Virgo.
Cancers and Pisces get along. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had somebody like that in your life that would push for excellence.
Yes.
Okay.
All the time. So anyway, he reached out to me, and he's asking me like, how are you doing this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't know. If you take care of yourself, like mind, body, and soul, I think.
Absolutely.
I think that's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might be onto something. I don't know. I need a couple more years to really determine if my theory that I have in my head that I've been thinking since I was young is really true.
Do your parents look like you? Like when they were your age, did they look like
Yeah, so my dad he just turned 77 in August. and he looks really good. Like
Right,
he doesn't
okay.
have any wrinkles. Like his skin is better than mine.
Okay, so this could be genetic. Yeah, you just have.
Yes. So like
yeah.
my dad, you know, black don't crack. My dad's mom is black.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, and I'm Hispanic.
Sense,
So
yeah.
Hispanic people, they don't, you know, they age good.
Yeah.
So okay, so my dad he looks really good. Like the neck area is like a little, you know, and then he has a big belly and he's
Yeah.
skinny, but he has a big belly inflammation with foods.
Yeah, got you.
My mom, she's heavy set, but when she was younger,
Mm-hmm.
she had the most beautiful.
Right.
My mom has a very curvy body, and then my dad's sisters and stuff, they have like a
Yeah.
bubble butt. So I got like the best of both
Yeah,
worlds.
yeah.
So that's how I got my body.
Yeah.
But my mom now, she's you know, she's heavy. She's really
Yeah.
heavy. She doesn't take care of herself. She doesn't
Got you,
work
yeah.
out. They don't listen to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like,
That's a tough thing to do. Like my mother kind of got lost it, I guess, as you could call it. And it is tough because, you know, you want to see them in their healthiest form because you want them to last as long as possible, you know. But, you know, when they do get older, it is a lot harder for them to do activities, you know, like you start to accumulate
shit.
issues. Yeah, you start to get certain conditions that don't allow you to move like you could have moved if you just never got to that point, you know. So I think I told myself, I'm like, I just want to try my best to stay in shape for the rest of my life, you know. The fact that you're 46 and you look like this is incredible because you can stay like this and keep on aging gracefully, you know, because it is tough. When you get
That's the
older,
plan,
it's
yeah.
very hard.
But
Yeah.
you know, okay, so like, for instance, I always have self-love and I've always taken care of myself. But I was in a relationship last year where I lost that.
Yeah.
The person I was with was just in their own head, and you know, they were just, I didn't, you know, like feel like there was anything there, you know, like, and it made me like not care what I looked like. And I gained 15 pounds, like
Wow,
the heaviest I've ever been in my whole life.
Wow.
And then this year was about trying to like remove that, but
Yeah.
then it was harder because, you know, being 46. So it's definitely like you have to like maintain yourself. And if life happens all the time, you know, like I didn't know I was going to be in this relationship that I was going to end up being like this.
Got you,
But that weight was like just for me, it was like, it was a sign for me to be like I let go of the relationship and like the mistakes that I made. But then I kept looking at myself and I would see myself and it was like a foreign body, you know, like, and then that would just remind me of the lack of self-love and like misery kind of that I experienced last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't ever like just continue, you know?
Yeah, because when I
on
get
the
out of
path.
shape, it's super depressing.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like myself. I don't want to go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
My friends call me. They're like, "Hey man, I'm about to stop by." No, come by another day. Like it feels like it takes so much out of you to feel good about yourself. You know, but when you do get in shape, you know, it's everything you do is just good. You can throw on any outfit, you can go anywhere, you feel confident, you feel happy, and your spirits are just up, you know? And
I think it's not vain. It starts with the self.
Yeah.
It's so important that you have to really feel good about yourself. Like even like for people to get surgery, right?
Yeah.
If you're not well within yourself, doesn't matter if you get surgery, you're not gonna
That's true.
fulfill
Yeah.
that thing you're looking for. That's why girls go for like multiple surgeries and they're just like looking for something that they're not gonna find in that. And the most important thing is to, you know, be centered with yourself.
Like I try not to compare myself too much to other people. I like my
No,
body.
you should never compare yourself
I
to
like
other
my
people.
body. I feel like I work out, I'm healthy, I'm strong, and
You have a nice
this looks
physique.
good for me. There are obviously people out there that look way better than me as far as their physique. They're ripped, they're chiseled, they got the 10-pack.
You're ripped
That's
and
cool.
chiseled.
Well, I mean, for me, I'm saying, but there's always someone that's better. I will not lose my mind trying to attain their looks.
Yeah.
I won't continuously go under a knife if I did it once. I won't continuously, you know, do crazy types of steroids and drugs just to try to attain something that isn't really meant for you. Like, just be happy with yourself. And I feel like the health that comes along with it is far more important than the look.
Yeah, I mean, there's like bodybuilders, right? Because I was in that space, and they're like taking all these drugs to maintain this, like, and they look crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's better to have like an athletic, healthy look, and just be good with yourself. If you compare yourself to someone, like, we're all unique people.
Exactly.
And there's no one else like you in the world. So like, why, like, when people try to be like someone else, it's like so dumb, because you're like taking away from who you are.
I can't express how much I literally I almost wanted, I thought about doing a show about this, but I didn't want to be insulting, because this is the way that, this is the life we live at this point. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't, but if I wanted to, I could go and get a slideshow of about 10, 15 girls that look identical. I wouldn't want to put them on blast, so I wouldn't actually do it. It was just a thought. Yeah. But the fact that I could do that, it just goes to show me, like, what is happening in this world. Like, there's no individuality, there's no uniqueness. They literally look identical. And I'm like, my boys will send me DMs, yo man, check her out. I'm like, she looked like a girl you sent me 2 times ago. Like, what's the difference? Okay, curly hair, big fish lips, little nose, same tan. Everybody's the same color now because they get the same tan. I miss the old I miss the old days where somebody would just have something messed up, you know? Like, I have a friend that's not a plastic surgeon. She does, like, she works at a med spa. So they do like basic stuff. And I was just in there doing a session for her, visiting, because this is her place, and she was like, I can fix your nose for you. I'm like, what do you mean fix my nose? I like my nose. She's like, well, you know, I can take that little curve and put, I was like, don't dare touch my nose. Like, this is what I've known my entire life. This is what I love about myself. And I wouldn't want to be crafted into something else. Like, but just the fact that it was so easily ready to be, I can do it in 5 seconds. I'm like, this
like, put some filler and stuff.
Don't touch me. Like, just leave me alone. And so I'm always just telling girls, like, you know, your beauty is your uniqueness. Whatever cellulite you're worried about, whatever stretch marks you're worried about.
I mean, guys are not even worried about cellulite.
I like that type of stuff.
It's only girls with girls.
Yeah, like, you notice how, like, back in the day, people would always try to, like, hide the cellulite to try to look perfect. Now that so many people are perfect, I'm starting to notice how girls are highlighting the stretch marks. It's almost become an art now. They're like, look at these stretch marks. It's real. And I'm just like, you know, the fact that we've gone backwards because so many people are fake that we can't even appreciate the real anymore. Well, I always will. And yeah, so you have to, at some point, I don't know when this is going to stop, this weird phase that we're going in, but we need to somehow go back to the original way where you're just yourself. You know, because that's the true beauty.
Well, I mean, it's the whole social media. And I mean, I think like this whole pandemic thing really awakened people to realize that, like, you know, because, you know, people will go out and they're stunting with all their material things and they're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they can't do it anymore, right? And then like, okay, what else you have to offer someone?
Yeah. All right, y'all. So that's it for Fiore Talks. Thank you so much for watching. Vida, thank you. It was an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
I want to come back and maybe tell their fan base and my fan base to like if they have a topic, and then we can talk about it.
If you guys have any questions or concepts that you want us to talk about, submit them, comment below, and then we can absolutely come back and do that. And but I do appreciate that we had the opportunity to hear your story. There's a lot of things about you I didn't know. I think when you...
And there's so much more.
And there's so much more, yeah. But, you know, just come on back anytime. But a lot of my friends and myself, we just knew you as the model, you know? And when you're like a public figure, that's all people will ever know. So to have these intimate conversations where we just hear about the way you grew up and your family and all that, that means a lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that just as much. Vida, tell them how they can find you.
If you're not following me, you can find me in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Vida Guerra.
Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Share this video with as many people as possible. And if you haven't turned on the post notifications, do that so you know when our next video comes up. As always, appreciate you. Fiore Talks. Till next time. Later.